We will see how to fill this 2026 Newfoundland and Labrador personal tax credit return and when you would be using the worksheet and how with all this example explanation in detail. In this form, you can just search for this TD form and you will come to this Canada government website where you have this federal personal tax credit return form also. I made a video which goes along with the provincial tax credit return. So if you are filling that form, you can watch that video too. And once you come down here, you see here is where you can find both the form, the tax credit return form and the worksheet. Once you go click here, you will be able to download the editable and fillable form. And then once that is downloaded, let's continue with filling of form. First, you will fill out the personal detail, last name, first name, date of birth, employer number, address, postal code and social insurance number. This is quite easy. You will not make mistake here, I'm sure. And when it comes to date of birth, you will enter the year, then the month and date like this and then enter. It will all be good. Once this is done, this basic personal amount, if you are downloading the form, this will already have this number by default. If not, you will have to enter this amount 11,118. Once this is done, line 2 is age amount and this is if you are 65 year or older on December 31st, 2026. And your net income from all sources will be 39,138 or less. You will enter 7142. In case you meet this age criteria, but you have earning more than 86,752. In that case, you will enter 0. And if you are not 65 year or older, you will still enter 0. In case as a 65 year or older, you have the income between this amount 39,138 and 86,752. In that case, you will have to use the worksheet. Here in the worksheet, this 7142 by default it shows up, and here estimated net income, I have taken an example of 45,138. Whatever the actual number is, you will enter that. That will get minus from the base amount 39,138. This is again pre-filled. So when you minus these both, the number what you get, that has to be multiplied by 15%, and then what you get here, in my case, I got $900. That will be minus from this maximum amount. So what number I get here, this is what 6242, 6242 will go here. That's how the entry will be made. Let me make this 0. Line 3, which is pension income amount. Here, if you receive regular pension payment from pension plan or fund, not including Canada Pension Plan, Quebec Pension, Old Age Security or Guaranteed Income Supplement payment. These are not the ones. Say you have a pension from your company. Enter whichever is less, $1,000 or your estimated annual pension. Say you get a pension of $3,000. In that case, even though you're getting 3,000, you will enter 1,000, which is the maximum cap. And if it is less than $1,000, say you're only getting $650, you'll enter 650. And if you're not getting any pension, you will enter 0. Then when it comes to line 4, tuition and education amount, full-time and part-time, here fill out this section if you are a student at university, college or educational institution certified by Employment and Social Development Canada, and you will pay more than $100 per institution in the tuition fee. Enter your total fee that you will pay plus the amount from the following condition that applies. If you are a full-time student, for each month you will add $200. If you are part-time student who has mental or physical disability, in that case each month $200 and $60 each if you are a part-time student who does not have any mental or physical disability. For example, you will firstly only take the fee for the current year. If you are in 2-year program, for example, you'll only take the amount what is there for 2026 and not the whole year, 2 years. And for example, say you're paying tuition fee of $600. So that $600 plus what is your situation out of these three? If say you have no issues and you fall in this category, in that case, if it is 3 months, $60 into 3 months, $180 plus $600. So you will enter $780. If not, you enter 0. Is disability amount. For this, you need to have this form 2201. If you already have, you know this. And if you have this, you will enter 7549. If you don't have this, enter 0. Then comes spouse or common law partner amount, enter 9142. If you are supporting your spouse or common law partner and both of the following condition apply. These both have to apply. One is your spouse or common law partner lives with you. Your spouse or common law partner's net income from that year will be $915 or less. Only if these two conditions are being met, you will enter 9142. Now say your spouse or partner has an earning between 915 to 10,057. In that case, you will use the worksheet, and if the income is beyond 10,057, you will enter 0. Let me take you to the worksheet. Here in the worksheet, I have given an example. The base amount is already given and say spouse has an earning of $5,000. So you will minus that 5,000 and then whatever the amount comes, say in this case 5057, that will be entered here. I am keeping 0 as it is. Amount for eligible dependent, enter 9142 if you are supporting an eligible dependent and all of the following condition apply. You do not have spouse or common law partner, or you have spouse or common law partner who does not live with you and who you are not supporting and being supported by. The dependent is related to you and lives with you. The dependent has net income of $915 or less for the year. So if you look at the income criteria is given almost similar. So the calculation part, I'm sure you would be able to do looking at the earlier one. It's going to be similar. So you have to make sure that these criteria are being met before you put any amount here. If not, enter 0. Line 8 is caregiver amount. Here you will enter 3553 if you are taking care of dependent and all of the following conditions apply. And here dependent is your or your spouse's or common law partner's parent or grandparent aged 65 year or older, or an infirm relative age 18 year or older who has physical or mental impairment. Dependent lives with you. The dependent has a net income of 17,364 or less for the year. So the dependent has to be getting this amount or less. If that is the case, in that case, you will enter 333553. And in case it is between 17,364 and 20,917, you will do the worksheet first and enter the amount what you get. And if it is beyond 20,917, you will make an entry as 0. Now let me take you to the worksheet. Here you see 20,917 is already there, and enter the dependent's income. Here I have entered 18,917 as an example, and the balance is 20,917 minus this amount. Now, once this is entered, you will go to line 7 of the other form and enter the amount what is there. And then you will minus this from this. In my case, 2,000 minus 5057 gives me negative 3,000 plus. So, when it is negative, you will enter 0, which I have done. If it is positive, whatever the value you get, you will put that in the care amount, care in the caregiver amount section. I am keeping as 0. And then line 9, amount of infirm dependent age 18 year or older, enter 3552 if you are supporting an infirm dependent and all of the following condition apply. Now here just remember that if you are claiming the caregiver amount, this person is not the same amount person for whom you are claiming this. And then here the dependent lives in Canada and is related to you or your spouse or common law partner. Dependent is 18 year or older. Dependent has a net income of 7632 or less for the year. If these three criteria are getting met, then you will enter 3552 here, 3552. If not, you will do the worksheet and enter the amount what comes here. And if it is beyond 11,188, you will enter 0. Now, the line 10, amount transferred from your spouse or common law partner. Basically, when the spouse or common law partner are filling their form, and even after filling that, say there is an unused credit. Here they have given what cannot be included. You see their age amount, pension amount, tuition, education amount or disability amount cannot be included. So other than this, if they have any unused credit, say they were eligible for 5,000 credit, but they only use 2,000 because of their tax bracket and they are left with $3,000 that can be transferred here to you. If that be the case, you will enter the amount what is there which is unused. And same goes for the dependent. Also, you will do the calculation, and if there is any unused credit, you will enter that. I am keeping both as 0. And once this is done, you will total this entire thing till the down and you will enter the total claim amount. So in my case, you can see here the only one entry 11,188. It's here. So let me enter 11,188. Whatever the total you get, you have to enter that. This is done. We come down here and here more than one employer or pair at the same time. In this case, if you have more than one employer, you will check this box here. And remember, in all probability, you might have already filled this form with the earlier employer. And if that be the case, you cannot claim them again. You will have to, in that case, make an entry as 0 and line 12 will become 0. Line 2 to 11 will again be left blank. That is, all of this will be left blank, and here instead of the number what is shown here, entry will be 0. Then the total income is less than the total claim amount. Whatever the claim amount shows up, if the income is going to be less than the claim amount, you will tick this box here, and that way your employer or payer will not deduct tax from your earning. So you have option for the additional tax to be deducted. In case you want that to be deducted, in that case, you'll have to use the federal form TD1, which you can check the video. And if you want the reduction in taxes, when you know that, okay, the taxes what is getting deducted is more than the required, in that case, you can fill up this T1213 to reduce the tax deduction. And once this is done, come here, signature, do the signature, date, and hand over this document to your employer, and your part is done.
Friends, do check out my website canadatriedandtested.com, which I keep updating from time to time. And as you can see, I have organized everything in a way easy for you to find based on the topic of your interest.